Good morning, students. I am Sangeeta, lecturer in chemistry, branch general section, working in GPT Narankad, semester 1, subject general engineering, chemistry, subject code 18C104F. Our major topic is water technology, and with that subtopic is defluoridation, that is Nalgonda technique. Okay. Let us recollect what we have discussed in last class. So what we have discussed in last class, desalination of seawater by electrodialysis, then uses of electrodialysis. So once again, I will explain desalination of seawater by electrodialysis. So first of all, what is meant by desalination? The process of removal of salts from seawater in the form of ions is called desalination. So what is electrodialysis? The process of transfer of ions from one solution to another solution through ion exchange membranes under the applied electric potential difference is called electrodialysis. And here electrodialysis is done in electrolytic cell. So I will explain. So here we are taking different types of concentrated solutions and we are keeping here ion exchange membranes alternately arranging cation exchange membrane and anion exchange membrane. And here we are taking two electrodes, that is positive electrode called as anode and negative electrode called as cathode. So on to that we are passing electric field, that is electromotive force, electric potential difference. Then what is happening? So the cations will move towards cathode through cation exchange membrane and anions will move to the anode through anion exchange membrane, because cation exchange membrane itself is negatively charged membrane and anion exchange membrane itself is positively charged membrane. So like that, whatever the ions present in the salt water, they will be removed off and you will get a fresh water. So due to this movement of ions from one place to another place, in one place the water will be salty and in one place the water will be less salt. So whatever the water containing less salt, that will be recirculated as demineralized water, and whatever the water having more salt will be treated as the waste water. So like this we can remove the salts present in the water by desalination by electrodialysis. This is the diagram. See here, cations will move towards cation exchange membrane through the towards cathode and anions will move to the cathode through anion exchange membrane, so that water is becoming fresh water. Then come to the uses. It is used to remove salts from seawater and brackish water. It is used for regeneration of water from wastewater. It is used in food processing industry, and it is also used in glycol desalting and glycerin purification. So these are the two topics we discussed in the last class. So today's our topic is defluoridation, that is Nalgonda technique. What are the objectives? On completion of this period, you would able to understand this defluoridation technique. So this is also called as Nalgonda technique. So why it is called Nalgonda technique means, so first it is done in Nalgonda, so in our state. So that's why it is called as Nalgonda technique. So what is defluoridation? D means removal of fluorides from water is called as defluoridation. So Nalgonda people, in Nalgonda, some of the areas water contains more amount of fluorides. So in the essential qualities of drinking water we studied, no? So it should not exceed, fluoride content should not exceed how much? Should not exceed 3 ppm. If it exceeds 3 ppm, it will affect, that is fluorosis. That's why we have to remove the fluorides from the water. Okay. So that one we will see here, defluoridation, Nalgonda technique. So what is defluoridation? The removal of fluorides from the water is called defluoridation. D means removal of fluorides. So what we are removing? We are removing fluorides from the water. So that's why it is called as defluoridation. National Environmental Engineering Research Institute, that is NERI, National Environmental Engineering Research Institute, Nagpur, has developed an economical and simple method for removal of fluoride, which is known as Nalgonda technique. So which institute developed this one? This National Environmental Engineering Research Institute, NERI. Okay, abbreviation. So economical and simple method for removal of fluoride, which we are calling it as Nalgonda technique. Okay, this process consists addition of alum, lime and bleaching powder to the fluoride water, followed by flocculation, sedimentation and filtration. So here in this process, what we are adding is we are adding some chemicals. It is alum we are adding lime and we are adding bleaching powder to the fluoride water. Then we are doing flocculation, sedimentation and filtration. Okay. The fluoride water is filled in the upper chamber. So first see here, this is the diagram. Okay. So here first flocculation, sedimentation, filtration, then water clean water tank. So this is the process. Nalgonda technique. Okay. So first we fill fluoride water in the upper chamber. So first step is rapid mix. Okay. It is an operation by which the coagulant is rapidly and uniformly dispersed in singular multiple phase systems. So what we are doing here, we are coagulant, whatever the coagulant we are taking, it is rapidly and uniformly dispersed in singular multiple phase system. It is rapidly mixed for a period of 30 to 40 seconds with a speed of 10 to 20 rotations per minute. So we are mixed for a period of how many seconds? 30 to 40. So how many rotations per minute? So this 10 to 20 rotations. This results in the formation of microflux. That means rapid fast mixing will be taking place by adding coagulant. Then microflux will be formed. Okay, that is the first step. Then flocculation next. In this stage, formation of flocks from destabilized colloidal size particles occurs. So here what happens? Microflux are forming. So in this stage, what are formation of flux from destabilized colloidal size particles occurs. It is achieved by gentle and prolonged mixing for a period of 10 to 15 minutes. So what we are doing here, we are doing rapid mix. So here gentle and prolonged. Here very fast we are doing, okay? Very fast and rotations are very speed. So here very slow and very prolonged mixing for a period of 10 to 15 minutes. So what you are getting a flux. From where you are getting? From destabilized colloidal size particles. Okay. So this is called as flocculation. Then come to the sedimentation. So what is happening here? It is a process of settling down suspended particles of water due to gravitational force. So same as we are in the seeing the municipal treatment of water. So what is happening due to gravitational force? The suspended particles will go and settle down at the bottom. So that is sedimentation. The next is the filtration. It is a process of separating suspended and colloidal impurities from water by passing through a porous media. So here what we are doing, we are separating suspended and whatever the colloidal impurities from water. How we are separating? By passing through a porous media. Porous means small holes. So the flocculated water is allowed to settle and filter through fullers each candle over a night. So here we are, whatever the flocculated water is there, it is allowed to settle and filter through a fullers with filtration purpose. So here we have to do each candle over a night. So that is filtration. The resultant water is used for drinking and cooking with desired level of fluoride. So this is about defluoridation or Nalgonda technique. To see here, we are adding lime, alum, and bleaching powder. All these are adding. We are doing a here. This one. We are doing here, and we are doing a rapid mix. So here, what we are doing? Rapidly mixing, and here fast mixing for a period of 30 to 40 seconds and 10 to 20 rotations per minute. So due to this, what happening? Microflux are forming here. Then here what we are doing in flocculation. So here flocculation, what we are doing in this stage, flocks are formed. How it is getting? By gentle, slow mixing. Okay, and prolonged mixing. Slowly we are mixing. We are taking time 10 to 15 minutes. Here 30 to 40 seconds only. Here 10 to, and rotations. How many rotations? With the speed of 2 to 4 rotations per minute. Okay, just 2 to 4. Here within seconds only 10 to 20 rotations per minute. So here 10 to 15 minutes, 2 to 4 rotations per minute. Okay, so lime, alum, then flocculation, then we sedimentation, settling down settling the suspended impurities due to gravitational force. Then what we are doing? We are doing the filtration through a porous medium. So whatever the coagulated particles and whatever the suspended particles will be filtered here through the porous media. Then whatever you are getting, the water is used for drinking and cooking with desired level of fluoride. So this is about Nalgonda technique. So first this one did in Nalgonda, that's why it is called as Nalgonda technique, and this Nalgonda people are suffering from fluorosis. Okay. Then come to the advantages. What are the advantages? This method is cheap and harmless. Very, very cheap method. Okay. And harmless. Contains permissible levels of fluorides less than 1.5 ppm and total dissolved salts. TDS means total dissolved salts. So less than 1.5 ppm. By doing this Nalgonda technique, we will get this much ppm fluorides, and total dissolved salts also. Contains only permissible levels of TDS, that is total dissolved salts. Contains no acids and alkalis in water. There is no acid, there is no base in water. And wastage of water is very less here. Okay, wastage of, whereas in reverse osmosis you have seen there. Okay, so only 5 to 15% water only recovered and remaining will be removed as a wastage. So here wastage of water is very less. Need minimum equipment. Very, very less equipment is required and useful for domestic and community use. For both purpose we can use. Okay. So these are the advantages of Nalgonda technique. So what is the first advantage? is cheap and harmless, contains permissible levels of fluorides. Fluoride content is less than 1.5 ppm and total dissolved salts also very less. Contains no acids and alkalis in water. Wastage of water is less. Need minimum equipment. It is useful for domestic and community use. So what we have discussed in this period? So in this period we have discussed defluoridation. It is Nalgonda technique and advantages of Nalgonda technique are defluoridation. So see here objective type questions. What type of objective type questions you expect from this topic? So first question. What happens when water contains 8 to 20 ppm of fluoride concentration? Okay. What happens when water contains 8 to 20 ppm of fluoride concentration? So based upon the concentration of fluoride, so you'll get the diseases. Okay. So here this dental fluorosis less than 8 ppm, that is more than 3, you get the dental fluorosis. So 8 to 20 ppm, what disease you will get, he is asking. So A, blue baby syndrome, B, crippling fluorosis, C, dental fluorosis, D, mottling of teeth. So answer is B, crippling fluorosis. So if this much ppm of fluoride is present in water, so you get a disease called as crippling fluorosis. Next, come to the next question. The process of reducing the fluoride content from water is called. So our topic is what? Defluoridation. So what is the answer? Defluoridation. So here options are given: chlorination, fluoridation, defluoridation, flocculation. So reducing means decreasing. Fluoride content we are decreasing from the water. So what is the answer? D. Fluoride. D means removal. The reducing means decreasing, removing. So how will you decrease? By removing the fluoride from the water, then only we can reduce the fluoride content. So that the option is the C, D, fluoridation. Okay, then third question. Which of the following is not used for defluoridation? So here some chemicals are given. So among that, which one is not used for defluoridation, they are asking. So A, calcium phosphate, B, copper sulfate, C, alum, and D, bone charcoal. So this calcium phosphate is used, alum is used, bone charcoal is used. So which is not used? Copper sulfate is not used for defluoridation. So answer is B. So actually in defluoridation we studied alum, okay, bleaching powder and lime. So here it is in Nalgonda technique. So different techniques will be there. So we will use that calcium phosphate and bone charcoal. So here B, copper sulfate is the answer. So answer is B. The next come to the fourth question. The fluoride concentration for prevention of dental caries is. So to prevent this dental caries, what is the fluoride concentration he is asking. So how much fluoride concentration should be present in water to prevent that one? So what is the answer? So options here given: 1 mg per liter, 2 mg per liter, 3 mg per liter, 4 mg per liter. So answer is A. So the fluoride concentration, it should be 1 mg per liter to prevent the dental caries. So answer is A. So these are the some of the objective type questions you may expect from this topic. Okay. So what type of questions you get from this topic? So here we studied only one topic. Okay. So only one topic, that is defluoridation. So direct question. Explain the Nalgonda technique of defluoridation. So last time you got this question. Nalgonda technique. Explain Nalgonda technique for 3 marks. They can ask for 3 marks or they can ask for 5 marks. So if 3 marks means you make it short. Simply you write down. So who introduced this one, where it is introduced, why this technique, why defluoridation got this name, and what are the chemicals we are adding. So you remember those chemicals: lime, alum and bleaching powder. Then you have to mix it well, and all the fluoride content, whatever the fluoride content present in water, they will coagulate, and after coagulation, some flakes will be formed. Those will be removed through filtration, and the water will be free from fluorine. Like that you can write. So for 3 marks. If at all you get for essay question, 5 marks question, so you have to draw this diagram and you have to write all this process. Okay, this one. First step, rapid mix. Second step, flocculation. Third step, sedimentation. Okay, this is diagram. The sedimentation, then filtration. Then what question you can expect? Advantages. What are the advantages of defluoridation technique? So like this you can explain. So with this we finished our water technology topic. So in water technology, what are the topics we discussed? So first, introduction to water technology. Okay, sources of water, types of hardness. So we studied in the first class. The next class, what we studied? So what are the topics in the next class? The first class, just introduction. Okay, the next class, so we'll see one by one once again. So today this is the last topic. Defluoridation is the last topic. So here, first, definition of salt water, hard water, hardness of water, types of hardness, causes of hardness. Okay, this is the first class. Then in second class, we discussed disadvantages of using hard water. This is very, very important. I said definition, formula and units of hardness of water. Then next, what we discussed in the next class, problems on hardness. So for essay question, two or three or more salts for essay question. If it is one salt is given, that is for 1 mark or 3 marks question. So problems on hardness we did in one class. Okay. The next is zeolite process in one class. These are very, very important. Then ion exchange process in one class. Okay. Ion exchange process in one class. Then municipal treatment of water for drinking purpose and essential qualities of drinking water in one class we did. So among these essential qualities of drinking water, very, very important. Then osmosis and reverse osmosis we did in one class. Okay. And then in the last class we did electrodialysis, desalination of seawater by electrodialysis in the last class. And today's class we did the defluoridation, that is Nalgonda technique. So from this unit, so very, very, very important questions are, once again I will tell essay questions first. So what is the essay question? That is zeolite process, ion exchange process and municipal treatment of water. Very, very, very important. So here defluoridation technique and electrodialysis, these also essay topics. Okay. Problems on hardness. So problems on hardness, how will you get? So if a simple problem they will give means only one salt and he asks that calculate the hardness of that water. So 1 mark question or 3 marks questions, maximum 3 marks question. 2 or 3 salts they will give 3 salts, more than 3 salts means that is for 5 marks question. Then next you have short questions. Come to short questions. Soft water, hard water definition. temporary hardness, permanent hardness definitions. And they can ask differentiate between temporary and permanent hardness. Okay. Then disadvantages of using hard water in industries. Either 3 marks, either 1 mark, either 5 marks. I explained in the class itself how you have to write the. So for 3 marks, how you have to write. For 1 mark, how you have to write. I explained it clearly. Okay. Then next come to the problems, hardness. Okay. Osmosis, reverse osmosis. Very, very important definition of osmosis and reverse osmosis. So how will you define osmosis? What is the definition of osmosis? They will ask. What is the definition of reverse osmosis? Or they can ask, explain reverse osmosis. So you have to explain that reverse osmosis, desalinations. What is the application of reverse osmosis? They can ask. So that is desalination by reverse osmosis. You have to explain. So definitions very, very important. Osmosis, reverse osmosis. Then sources of water, that is rare question. So and the salts. Name the salts which causes hardness of water. And what is hardness of water? And what is the degree of hardness of water? What are the units of hardness of water? And write the formula for the calculation of hardness of water. So what is the formula for hardness of water? Hardness of water is expressed in CaCO3 equivalents. Okay. So what is the formula for that? W by GMW into 100. So weight of salt by gram molecular weight of salt into 100. So if you know the calculation of gram molecular weights, then you can do the problems very easily. If you don't know the calculation of molecular weights, already I discussed those calculation of molecular weights in which unit? In solutions. So if you like this, you make a table, salt name, weight, its gram molecular weight you have to find out. Then you make it a formula like in one column and find out the hardness. Then if they will ask total, you have to add all these hardnesses, then you'll get the total hardness of water sample. If they will ask temporary and permanent hardness, so temporary hardness, which salts will give temporary hardness? Like this also you can get question. So name the salts which causes temporary hardness. These two salts gives temporary hardness and remaining salts gives sulfates and chlorides give permanent. If you know the definition of temporary hardness and permanent hardness, or if you know the salts which causes temporary hardness and which causes permanent hardness, you can write down what is temporary hardness, what is permanent hardness. And only 6 salts, that is calcium bicarbonate, magnesium bicarbonate, calcium chloride, magnesium chloride, calcium sulfate, magnesium sulfate. These salts only gives hardness to the water sample and remaining salts will not give hardness to the water sample. For example, that is aluminum chloride, iron chloride, sodium chloride, they won't give hardness to the water sample. To confuse you, sometimes they will give other salts. If at all they will give other salts, you may need not calculating the hardness for that salt because it will not give hardness. If at all, if you want to write in the table, write the salt name and weight, and here you write down in the last column, this salt will not give hardness. If you find out the hardness of that salt also, it will become mistake. The whole problem goes wrong. Okay. So like that, you have to calculate the hardness of water sample. Then come to essay zeolite process. Equations very, very important. Already I told you to practice these equations. So you have to practice these equations. Okay. Zeolite process, sodium zeolite. So as whatever the chemical we are using, you remember these two names, permeate and zeolite. So permeate process or zeolite process, one and the same. Okay. Then next ion exchange process. In ion exchange process also you have equations. So you practice those equations. So very, very simple. You see like this, it will looks like difficult. If you practice it, it will be very easy for you. So here two types of resins we are using, acidic resin, basic resin. Acidic resin will exchange cations, that's why it is called as cation exchange resin. Basic resin will exchange anions, because that's why it is called as anion exchange resin. So if you see here diagram, here we two tanks we are taking. So you keep this diagram in your mind, then you can write the process easily. In one tank we are keeping acidic resin, in another tank we are keeping basic resin. So first we are passing hard water onto the acidic resin, there cations are exchanging, then it will move to the anion exchange resin, there it will remove the anions. So like that water is becoming soft, so cations are anions are removing here. So that's why this process is called as demineralization process. Whole salts, whole ions are removed. So after few hours, to continue the process for few hours, the iron resins will be exhausted. These exhausted resins will be again regenerated by passing acids and bases. Okay, if you pass dilute acid, acetic resin will be regenerated. If you pass dilute basic solution, that is NaOH, basic resin will be found, like that. Okay. Then come to the municipal treatment. So how will you treat the water? Treatment of water means this essential qualities I told. So 10 I have given, any 6 or 5 you by heart, whichever easy for you. So this is very important question, maximum times repeated question. So in municipal treatment of water, what is sterilization? Write the methods for sterilization of water, or write the explain chlorination with equation they will ask. So this chlorination step, this is very important with equations. Okay, like that we have to prepare for this water technology. So with this, today we finish this water technology topic. Okay, thank you students.